have a lot of things to discuss today. But before that, we will quickly go through what we learned last week. Okay, we will quickly have a general idea. I'm going to ask you a few questions so that I want to check basically if you remember what we discussed last year. Yeah, everybody ready for this? Yes, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, not much. Okay, so what is the oldest form of agriculture in the world? Oldest method of cultivation or oldest form of, very good. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And what do you, yes, what do you understand by the word economy? What is an economy of a country, Bhute? What is the economy? What do we say? Like the economy is good, the country is developed, the economy is good. Now, United States of America, the economy of United States of America is strong. The economy of Japan is strong. The economy of United Kingdom or UK is strong. The economy of France is strong. The economy of India is stronger than Sri Lanka. The economy of Sri Lanka is what? Strong? What do you think? I told very weak, right? Very, very weak. Okay. So why? Okay, we will learn, right? Over the coming years, we're going to learn why, what happened to us. We used to be here. We used to be here. But now we are here. You understand what I'm saying, right? So we used to be very strong. But what has happened to us today? We need to find out the reasons. In order to understand the reasons, we have to study history properly. Okay? Then we can go back. Then we can become strong again. This is the whole purpose. This is why we are learning this subject called history in school, in our lives. Okay? This never stops. You will learn history until you die. Okay? Because you will be learning history every day, starting today or starting from grade 6. You started learning history in grade 6, right? So you're going to learn this forever now. Until you die, you will learn this. Okay? This is a subject that is evolving every day. Okay? That has so much to learn about every day. So this is only not only for your exams, but for your life, you will be learning history. So this is the whole point, to understand what happened in the past, where we used to be, and what mistakes we did in the past, and how not to repeat those mistakes, and how to become better every day. Okay, so I want you all to be better every day. When you log into this class at 7:30, you are logging out at, let's say, 9 or 9:30. We're going to do some extra time anyway, so you have to log out better. A better version of you should log out. I mean, you have to be better tomorrow than today, right? That is the whole point here. Okay, right. So what is the economy of a country? Like I mentioned before, what do you understand when I say the word economy? Anybody?
Trade and we get money.
Okay, all right. Okay, good point. Right. Anyone else want to add something? Your own word. Sinhaleng hari kaman again. No problem. Our economy is Sinhaleng kya word? What is the word we use to call economy in Sinhala? Anybody? Somebody wanted some single explanation. Arthike, right? Arthike, yeah. Okay. So mukadda arthike again. What is economy? Yeah. What is economy? The production and the distribution. You have to produce something, you have to distribute that as well, right? The production and distribution of goods and services. Okay, the production, you have to produce something or to distribute something. Without producing rice, without making rice, how can you distribute it? So first you have to produce something. Okay, you can produce anything, right? Like we are producing what today? Rice, vegetables, vehicles we are not producing, right? In Sri Lanka we don't make vehicles, right? Yeah. Are we making mobile phones in Sri Lanka? Are we making computers in Sri Lanka, mobile phones in Sri Lanka?
No.
No. Are we making aircraft or ships in Sri Lanka?
No.
What are we making here? Tea. Are we making tea? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we grow tea, right? Yeah. Yeah, we produce tea. Okay, we produce tea. Are we producing garments? Are we producing clothes?
No.
No.
Why
Yes.
not?
Yes.
Yes,
We do, yeah, we do. We do export also. Right. Are we producing agricultural products like milk,
Yes.
Yes.
paddy, I mean rice, vegetables? Yes, we do. And what about the services? Do we have transport services in the country?
Yes.
Can you go from place to place using transport service like bus or taxi? Yeah, yes. That is a
Yes.
service. Okay, that is a service. And do you have educational services in the country?
Yes.
Yeah, your
Yes.
school. Now your school is not giving something to you, right? Your school is not giving something that you can touch. Education you can't touch, right? Yeah, knowledge you can't touch. So I am also doing a service. So this is a service, okay, that you can't touch, but it is a service that we provide. That is also a part of the economy, okay. So the production and the distribution of goods and services, that system is called economy, okay. If a country produces so many things, if a country can produce so many important things, like USA, they produce vehicles, aircraft, arms, I mean weapons, computers, phones, they produce literally many things. So that is why the economy is strong. You understand what I'm saying? Japan, they produce so many things. They produce robots, they produce computers, they produce many other electronic items and vehicles, yeah, ships. They produce so many things. That is why the economy is strong. So the production has to be strong. If the production is strong, the economy is also strong. Okay, so that is the relationship. All right. So in the ancient Sri Lanka, we are talking about ancient society here. We are talking about how our ancestors lived, right? The lifestyle of our ancestors. That is the topic here we are discussing. So under that we discussed the ancient Sri Lankan economy had three parts. Who can tell me the three parts of the ancient Sri Lankan economy? The ancient Sri Lanka's economy comprised of three parts. Very good. Yes. Agriculture.
Farming,
Agriculture. No, the main three parts. Main three parts. Agriculture,
craft work,
craft work. Very good. Craft work.
trade.
Trade. Very good. Yes, trade. Okay, those are the three elements. So those are the three parts of the ancient Sri Lanka's economy. Okay. So we did agriculture to produce food mainly. Yes, we did agriculture to produce food for our consumption, for us to eat. We did craft work to make things we wanted to use. Okay, like tools, pots, these kind of things, jewelry. Yeah, that is craft work. And we did business or trade to exchange those goods and services. Okay, so let's say you are a farmer, you want to buy something, you go and trade your rice with something else. Okay, or let's say for example glassware, horses were not available in Sri Lanka. So if you want glass, porcelain products or glassware or horses, you have to bring it from outside. So you import what you don't have, and what you have you can export. So Sri Lanka has gems, Sri Lanka has pearls, Sri Lanka has spices like cinnamon, cardamom, pepper. These spices, very good spices, expensive spices, cinnamon, cardamom, very expensive. So we used to export those. We used to send those out of the country because we had enough. We had more than enough. Yeah. So that is trade. We will talk about it. Okay. Don't worry. We're going to talk about all these things. Right. Okay. So under agriculture, we divided agriculture into two main categories. What are those?
Farming and animal husbandry.
Farming and animal husbandry. Why Mesandu is laughing? I want to know why. Yeah. Okay. What is it? Tell us the joke. Farming and animal husbandry, right? Okay. So last week we spoke about farming or animal husbandry.
Farming.
Under farming, what do we have? The two types of cultivation. Anybody?
Chena cultivation and paddy cultivation.
Paddy field cultivation, Chena cultivation and paddy field cultivation. So Chena cultivation we started to discuss last week. Okay, so we are going to finish Chena cultivation today, and we are going to finish paddy field cultivation also today. That is the plan. Okay, if you have time, we will start animal husbandry as well. Okay, that is the plan. Everybody happy? Now you got it? Yeah, right. So everybody should have this chart in their minds, right? You can write it in a notebook. Like, you can, no need to write everything, but just try to remember what we are learning. Okay. Yeah. No need to write everything. Okay. It's fine. So this chart can be drawn in different ways. Okay. Last week we had another format. Okay. You can use any format, no problem. End of the day, you must remember, okay, what we are learning under each topic. Okay. So mainly we were discussing about the economy. Okay. Yeah. After economy, we will discuss about the culture also, right? These kind of things, right? Okay. So this is one of the main subtopics in the unit. Okay. What is the unit? Lifestyle of our ancestors. That is the unit. So in order to understand the lifestyle of the ancestors, we have to understand the economy of the country. We have to understand how things are produced in the country, how goods are produced in the country. And to understand how goods are produced in the country, we need to know what is economy and what kind of work did we do for a living. Okay. So that is mainly farming. Agriculture is the main thing, main livelihood. Agriculture is the main thing we did. Others are all secondary, smaller than agriculture. Okay. Agriculture, almost everybody did agriculture. Okay. Right. Now farming, Chena cultivation. Under Chena cultivation, we spoke about how to prepare a Chena land, how a farmer will select a Chena land from a jungle, how he will prepare the steps that he used to prepare a Chena land. Everybody remember what we discussed last week? Yeah? How to prepare a Chena land. What is the first step of preparing Chena land, Pute?
Find a particular area.
Yeah, select. Yeah.
Selecting a suitable land.
Selecting a suitable area of land from what?
From the jungle.
From the jungle, okay? Not from your garden, right? From the jungle, okay? Yeah, your garden is there, jungle is separate, okay? You cultivate in the jungle, not in your garden, okay? So this is called Chena cultivation. If you are cultivating a plot of land or an area from a jungle, this type of cultivation is called Chena cultivation, okay? So we spoke about these things last week. I'm not trying to repeat it again and again. I believe everybody can understand. If you have any questions, please ask. And we also spoke about a few crops that were cultivated in Chena land. Who can tell me 3 crops that were cultivated in Chena lands? 3 crops. Very good, Kurakan. Very good. Good start. Strong start. Very good. Kurakan. This is called kick start, strong start. Yeah.
Millet.
Millet, yes. Millet is called Meneri in Sinhala.
Green
Mustard.
Green gram, very good. Green gram, very good. Mustard, okay. Pumpkin, vegetables like pumpkin, mackerel. Mackerel is long beans.
brinjal.
Brinjal, very good, yes.
Sweet
Yeah.
Manioc.
Yams. Yeah, we can say yams like
Manioc.
innala, sweet potato,
Manioc.
innala, katuala, sweet potato, these kind of things. Yeah. Sorry?
Manioc.
LV.
LV, yes. LV also correct because V means paddy. LV is a type of paddy, okay? LV is a type of paddy that is cultivated in China lands. A little small rice. But the thing is, you have to remember this. LV is the type of paddy that was cultivated before paddy fields started. Because China farming is the oldest farming method, right? I told you. So even before the paddy field started, this type of rice called LV was cultivated in China lands. Very good. Yes, strong start. What is the English word for Kurakan?
Finger millet.
Finger millet. Finger millet. Very good. What is the singular word for millet?
Mineri.
Meneri. Yeah, meneri is a type of a grain. Okay. So very good. Yeah. You started with Kurakan. Kurakan is a main crop. that is cultivated in China lands. Okay, so we have to always, I told you, whatever we do, we have to take a strong start, right? So Kurakkan is the best crop to start when you are talking
Ginger.
about China cultivation. Sorry, Pute?
Ginger.
Yeah, ginger, those are all small crops, right? They all cultivated, yeah. Kurakkan, millet, they are grains, right? They are grains, cereal grains. Kurakkan, millet, meneri, mungata, like green gram, right? These kind of things. Even though it's not mentioned there, iringu, or bada iringu kila කියන්නේ corn. Yes, that is also cultivated. Okay, it's not mentioned here, but you can make a note of it as well. Okay, no problem. It's not there in the book, so I didn't put in the tutor as well, but you can remember it's correct. Bada iringu or corn was also cultivated. Okay, right. Everybody happy? Any questions? No?
sir.
Now I told you, like now let's move on from here. Okay, that is what we discussed last week, right? Okay, so every day we are not planning. I mean, this week we have a few new faces as well who couldn't come last week. That is why we took like a half an hour to explain what we discussed last week. But next week, we are not planning to spend so much time discussing what we did last week. Okay, we will have like a 5 minutes, 10 minutes of a quick revision and move on to the lesson because we have a lot of lessons waiting for us, right? So you have to be very focused in the class, alert, keep your eyes and ears open in the class. If you don't understand any part, let me know, right? We can explain you in simple words. Okay, and I told you one Putha was asking about single explanations. I can help you with that as well, but normally we don't teach in Sinhala in the class. Once in a while we talk a few sentences, but normally we do. I'm not explaining totally in Sinhala in the class. Okay, because this is an English medium class, and you studied in English medium in grade 6, and now it's time. I mean, you have to you need to be confident. Okay, that is the main thing, right? You need to have confidence. You need to be brave now. So if you are scared of English or little heavy explanations in English, be patient. Okay, relax, be patient, and try to understand this for 2 months. And after 2 months, 3 months, you're gonna be fine. Trust me. Okay, yes, I have gone through this. Okay, until grade 11 I learned in Sinhala medium. Me. Okay, until grade 11 I learned in Sinhala medium. So for grade 12 and 13 to do my A levels, I went to DS Senanayake College, I told you, and I chose English medium. So for the first 3 months, in the first 3 months, I didn't understand a single thing. Okay, I never understood anything. Like the teacher is telling, and then I was like, what is she talking? I didn't understand anything. But after 3 months, I started understanding everything. It was easy. Okay, that is how I improved my English as well, by learning in the English medium class. That is why I'm teaching in English today, right? I can teach literally any subject in English medium. So why? Because I improved. I was patient and I worked hard for 3 months. You will be okay, right? Don't worry. Don't be scared. That is the main thing. Okay, right. Okay, so today we are going to discuss another very important area: how to protect the China land. Now, why do you need to protect the China land? Because the crops will get destroyed. The crops might get destroyed. Now, whatever you do, you have to protect it. Okay, especially when you are growing something, you have to protect your crops. From who? Yes.
Wild
So now,
Animals.
now you need to understand that this China land is in the jungle. Okay, so this farmer did not have a separate land to make his China. This is the jungle. Okay, this is the whole jungle, and he is selecting a part of the jungle for his China land. This is his China land, this part. Okay, now what about this part? Who are living in this part?
Wild
People?
animals.
Animals, right?
Animals?
Animals like what were they? Tell me a few animals living in the
Monkeys.
jungle.
Monkeys.
Elephants.
Elephants,
Monkeys.
Tigers.
Monkeys.
monkeys,
Python
okay.
snakes.
Um, tigers are not
Wild boars.
tigers are not interested in Kurakan, okay? Yeah.
Miss
Wild
about
Leopard.
snakes.
Yeah,
Wild
leopards and
boars.
tigers, they are carnivores, right? They're carnivorous
Wild boars.
animals, right? So
Wild
they
boars.
won't, they are not
Wild pigs.
interested on chain
Wild
cultivation.
boars.
Wild pigs.
Yes.
Wild boars,
Pythons,
yes.
snakes.
Wild boars.
Yes.
Porcupines.
Porcupine, very good, yeah. Wild boars,
Yes.
porcupines,
Deer.
deers, yeah. Okay, I just wrote a few here, okay? That's enough. Okay, so basically, porcupines, wild boar, they love yams mainly, okay? They eat other crops as well, but mainly they love yams. Elephants, they literally can eat anything. I mean, any food, any grain. No. They would love to eat kurakan and grains and vegetables, especially, pumpkin and all. They're very happy. They'll be very happy. Monkeys also like that, okay?
Sugar cane.
Sugarcane is the favorite, yeah. Sugarcane, sugarcane is a favorite food of the elephants. So if you give like 100, 200 kilos of sugarcane, no problem, it will eat it, okay? No problem, it won't complain you. It will not cry you or anything like that. It will finish
Excuse
eating
me,
it, okay?
sir.
Yeah. Yes, Buddha.
Can you say panda?
Why? And where are pandas in Sri Lanka? It's only in the zoos. Yeah, we are talking about Sri Lanka, okay? We are talking about the Sri Lankan jungles. All right, got it, no? Okay. We have pandas only in the zoo, right? In Sri Lanka, we don't have in the jungles. Okay. Now, what is the problem with it? Now, the China land, he just cultivated the China land. Now, the crops are growing. Now, the crops are getting ripe and the harvest is also coming near. You can harvest it now, like the vegetables and everything. Vegetables, so whatever the farmer cultivated here, kurakan or vegetables or whatever it is, when it is growing, Bute, the main challenge that the farmer has to face is to protect these crops from wild animals. Why? Because wild animals will be very happy if the farmer is not there, or if the farmer doesn't know how to protect the chain land. The wild animals will come and destroy it within a few minutes. It can finish eating it, okay? Now let's say, for example, it takes about 3 months to grow something, a vegetable or a normal grain. It takes about 3 months, okay? Now, if you don't protect it, within 3 hours, 3 months of your hard work will be destroyed within less than 3 hours if you don't protect your land. Because let's say, for example, the farmers living, like I told you, 1 kilometer away. Let's say, no, farmer can't live in the jungle. No? Yeah, the farmer's house is away from the jungle, right? So now the farmer goes home to eat rice, to take lunch. Lunch. Yeah, the farmer is going home. When the farmer goes back to the land, all the crops gone, right? All the animals will destroy. Okay, all animals will finish eating it. Okay, and especially these wild animals are active in the daytime or night time. What do you think?
Night time.
Night, yeah, they are very active in the night, and their eyesight is very good in the night. They can see very well in the night. Most of these animals are like that, okay? Elephants, of course, they are active in the daytime as well, but mostly in the evenings, they start eating, okay? In the evenings, and when the nightfall comes, they will be very active, okay? All these wild animals are active in the night, especially if there are people around, they will be active in the night, because the people are not active in the night, okay? People, we like to be active in the night or sleep in the night. Yeah. Okay. You like to sleep in the daytime also. That's a different story, right? You like to sleep all day, right? No. Okay. You like to sleep daytime or nighttime, no problem. You can sleep all day. You can sleep, right? Okay. But yeah, people generally, we like to sleep in the night. That is how we are designed. Okay. We like to be a little active in the daytime. Okay. So right. So now the problem is mainly in the night, the farmer has to protect the chain land, okay, from wild animals. Now there are a few things that the chain farmer did to protect his land from these wild animals, okay. The first thing he did is he made a fence around the channel land using sticks. Okay, like this. I'm drawing it just like this. Can you all see this? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can make a fence, right? Yeah. And you can this is in the book, it says a stockade. So this is a fence, literally. So you can build a fence surrounding or on the perimeter of your channel land. So what this can stop? This fence can stop wild boars. This fence can stop porcupines from coming inside. They are small animals. It will be difficult for the small animals to come inside because there's a stick fence. Okay. This fence is made out of sticks. So you can call this fence stick fence. Okay. Or in the book it says stockade, building a stockade. So we will name it stick fence or stockade. Okay. Yeah. Stockade. Okay. Yeah. And then we have a nice singular word to call this stick fence or stockade. That is dandu water. Dandu water. Water කියලා කියන්නේ මොකද්ද පුතේ? Water means fence. Okay. Dandu means sticks. Dandu means sticks. Water means fence. Danda කියලා කියන්නේ one stick. Dandu means plural. Many
Excuse
sticks.
me, sir.
1 second. Dandu water means stick fence. So the stick fence that is built around the channel land to protect it from wild animals is called Dandu water in Sinhala. Everybody understand? Everybody got it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Any questions? Somebody had a question.
No, sir. Sir, do we want to learn that Sinhala words? It will come.
100% yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Why is it difficult? Amaru?
Yes. No, sir.
It's not difficult, right? We are breaking them down, right? Meaning wise. Okay. You will be remembering those. So Dandu kela kyanne sticks. Dandu. Water means fence. Okay. So stick fence. Dandu water. Okay. Dandu means sticks. Danda kela kyanne one stick. Dandu means sticks. Okay. Now what is the next step? Okay. Is this enough? Building a stockade or building a stick fence is enough? Now big animals like elephants, they will break the stick fence and come inside. Okay. If they want to, right? So to keep the elephants away, we can use something like this. We can make bonfires. In the night, we can make bonfires. Okay. We can make a few fires, like bonfires around the channel land, like especially in the outside. Okay. We can make a few. Now any animal in the world, including people, are scared of fire. Okay. Any animal, whether it's an elephant, 10 feet tall, 10 feet tall, the biggest land mammal in the world, right? Land animal in the world is the elephant. Show the elephant a small candle, it will be scared. Okay. All animals in this world are scared of fire, right? Because they know what fire can do. They have this natural feeling, okay? That natural fear to this fire. Even though they are not burned before. Now the elephant, maybe he had never got burned from a fire, but when he sees the fire, he knows something is dangerous with it. Like that's the natural instinct. Okay. So what you can do is you can make a few bonfires here and there. Bonfires. So making a bonfire over a few fires. Yeah, like this. Everybody got it? So this will keep the animals away. So when the animals see the fire, they won't come close. So your chain is now protected. Understand everybody? Yes? So you can make a few bonfires. Okay. These are called bonfires in Sinhala. Okay. Once again, here's the bonfire. Okay. Yeah. You can make a bonfire or bonfires, many fires, bonfire. Making a bonfire, that is there in your book. In the tute also I put the Sinhala word. For bonfire in Sinhala, we call it Gini Malaya. So Gini Malayak Gahano. Gini Malayak Gahano means making a bonfire. Okay. So Gini means fire. Gini Malay can like a, like this one. You put like few sticks together and light it up. Like, have you seen campfires? Yeah. You keep the sticks.
Yes, sir.
Just like this and you can light them up, right? You can light it up. It will light for for a few hours. Okay, so you can keep adding fuel to that, like sticks. You can keep adding your sticks to that. Okay, right. So one bonfire like this or a few bonfires like this will keep the animals away from your chain of land. That is also another method used by people to protect their chain of lands. Now, how many methods did we learn? Used by chain of farmers to protect his chain of land? Two methods. Right. Now, the third one is making a watch hut. Now, I told you at the beginning, if you remember, when the farmer made this chain of land, the big trees were not cut. Remember? Yes, the big trees were not cut. So you can select a big tree just like this, a tall tree, and you can make a watch hut in it. Can you? You can make a ladder to go up there. Would you love to be here one day in a place like this? Yeah. Okay. So now when you are staying in the watch hut, so what will the farmer do? In the night he would go to the watch hut, because especially animals like elephants, they are active in the night. So he can keep watching around the chain of land for any animal activities. Okay. So if the animals are coming, he can shout and he can chase them away. Yes, he can shout and chase them away. So he can keep guard of his chain of land through this watch hut. Everybody got it now? Yeah. So now what will happen normally what will happen is the farmer, the farmer will be sleeping in the daytime. Okay, now the crops are growing, right? Now farmer's children, farmer's wife, they will be taking care of the chain of land in the daytime. They will be watering the crops and stuff like that. Okay. Mainly the chain of lands used rainwater. So if the water is not enough, maybe using a pot or something, you put a little water and that's it. Crops like Kurakkan Pute doesn't need much water. I remember asking you last week, have you eaten Kurakkan? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is so special about Kurakkan? Have you felt like it is dry? It is drier than other grains?
Yes.
Yes, right? Kind of dry, right? So meaning that it doesn't need much water, okay? Kurakkan, a little bit of rain is enough for Kurakkan to grow, okay? So that is why mainly the farmers chose Kurakkan, because you don't have to think too much about it. And Kurakkan can survive even through droughts. You know what is a drought, right? A period without rain. So even if it doesn't rain, Kurakkan wouldn't die. Okay. So that is why the farmers, because it is a sure crop, right? You are sure about it, right? You will have some food to eat. So that is, you see how the thinking worked, right? You have to be smart. That is how the farmers were in the ancient times. So what the farmer would do in the night, he would go do the night shift in the watch hut. Okay. So he would go in the evening. So his wife would prepare some food for him, right? Then he would take the food and go to the watch hut in the evening. And then he will get down in the morning. So he will be watching all night. He will be watching the farm all night, because anytime the animals can come and attack it. Animals can come and destroy his crops, his hard work, everything. Okay. So, those days in the ancient times, 1,000 years ago, there were no smartphones. Yeah, no laptops, no tabs, no smartphones, no YouTube. Yes. So what they did, these farmers, they felt bored, right? Yeah. I mean, you have to be alone and watching for the animals, and you start yawning. Yeah. And then you feel bored, right? Then he started singing also. Then he started singing poems. Okay. These poems are called Palkavi. Okay. Palkavi. It's a special type of folk poem that Sri Lankan farmers, Chena farmers used when they were guarding these Chena lands from these watch huts built on trees. So I just said Palkavi. So the name, Sinhala word for this watch hut is Pala. Okay, Pala. So Palak hadanawa කියලා කියන්නේ, Pala means a small room, small house. Pala කියලා කියන්නේ. Okay. Mal Pala නෙමෙයි. Mal Pala is that is different. Yeah. This is Pala. Now how you write that in Sinhala is this land. Okay. This land. Okay. Yeah, Pala. So basically, this is called the watch hut. You can also call it a tree house, but it's not a big house like a tree house, but it's like a hut. Okay, so watch hut. In Sinhala, we call it what puthe? Pala. This is how you write it in English. This is how you write it in Sinhala. If you know Sinhala, you know this one. Okay, so Pala. And what is the poem that he basically used to sing? Pal Kavi. Okay, folk poems. Even today, there's a special place for Pal Kavi in Sri Lankan, basically, poetry. Okay, yeah, Pal Kavi. Ekeka Kavi tiyena, yeah. Pal Kavi, Nelum Kavi. Yeah, different Karatta Kavi කියලා කියනවා. Yeah, Karatta Kavi, Pal Kavi, Nelum Kavi. So different names are there for different types of poems. Okay, used by different people in different activities. So those people, those Chena farmers who were watching their Chena lands at night, they were bored. So to kill the boredom, they used to recite, or they used to basically sing poems. Those are called Pal Kavi. Just extra knowledge for you. Okay, little bit extra knowledge for you. Right. So watch hut is Pala. And what is Danduwata puthe? Danduwata කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Stockade or stick fence. And bonfire is in Sinhala? Gini Malay. Yeah, Gini Malay. Yes, very good. Right. So those are the three methods used by Chena farmers to protect their Chena lands. Okay. Now what happens after the harvest is reaped? So once you protect the Chena land, the harvest would be the crops would be growing, and you will be harvesting the crops. Harvesting means basically taking the products out of the agricultural land, right? Harvesting means basically cutting the crops. Yeah. So it's fully ripe. It's ready to eat, ready to be processed. Okay. Yeah. So once you harvest it, the Chena land is now empty. Nothing is grown now. So basically what happens to a Chena land after the harvest is reaped? You abandon it. You let it alone. Okay, you don't cultivate again there. Normally you don't do that. Okay. So what will happen with it? When you abandon it. Yeah. අතෑරලා දානවා කියලා කියන්නේ abandon it. Okay. So what will happen when you abandon this? You just let it alone. Forget it. And you go cultivate in another area. Now, so this is number one. So you took the harvest. Let it go. You know this song, let it go, let it go. Yeah. Okay. So this is the second plot now. Okay. Yeah. He goes here. Right. Now what happens to this plot now? What will happen? It will become wilderness again. Yeah. It will become the jungle again. Right. Yeah. It will become the jungle again. It becomes the forest again. Because the forest will take over this land. Yes. What will happen if you abandon your house for 2 years? Yeah. You see, have you seen abandoned houses? No people. I mean, the wilderness will grow and the garden would come inside the house. Yeah, literally. Yes. So 2, 3, 5, 10 years. Yeah. So similarly, when the Chena land is abandoned, the jungle will quickly grow in that area. Okay. Easy, because big trees are not cut as well. So it is easy for the jungle to grow. And what's so special about this? Is the environment harmed? That is the special thing about this. Is the environment harmed? Is the jungle harmed when making these Chena lands?
The jungle is harmed.
Is the jungle harmed now, or the environment harmed? Did the farmer do any harm to the jungle? That is the question.
No.
The jungle did not get destroyed, right? Yeah. The jungle is the jungle, right? Because I mean, once you abandon the Chena land, the jungle grows back here. So meaning that if the jungle doesn't grow back here, meaning that one part of the jungle is gone. Okay. That means you have harmed the jungle, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't harm the jungle. You don't harm the environment. Jungle is part of the environment, right? The forest is part of the environment. So you don't harm the environment in Chena cultivation. That is the most special thing that you have to learn. Okay, right? Everybody understand, Bude? Any questions up to now? Situli, okay, Bude? Situli, are you okay? Who's
Yes,
there?
sir. Excuse me, sir.
Nishat, you okay, Bude? Dua.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, others, I can't see your faces. It's okay. You guys okay?
Yes, sir.
Somebody had a question. Yes, sir, Abuta.
Sir,
Yes.
after we like leave the chain of cultivation, it becomes part of the forest, no? So
Yeah.
after we leave the second, can't we take the first one again?
Can, no problem. Can do that. But normally you let it be like that for some time. Okay. You know why? Because let's say you don't only use 2 plots. Okay. Why? Because you already grew something there. Okay. And it takes some time, like maybe a few months, maybe a couple of years for it to become normal again, because you cultivated something that is alien, right? Like, I mean, you are cultivating yams, you are cultivating vegetables. Cultivating vegetables is not part of the forest, right? You are bringing vegetables from outside and cultivating. It's an alien crop. Yeah, it's something not part of the jungle. What you are doing there, you are doing something artificial, right? You are cultivating crops means it's man-made. Man-made means artificial. Yeah. So what you do is you let it be like that for some time, or you can come back, no problem. But normally, the jungle is huge. Okay. So you have so many areas from the jungle that you can cultivate. And if you want to come back to the same place, you can. People do that. Yeah, no problem. But the
So,
normal
sir,
practice is for some time you don't use it for some time. Yeah. Yes, Uday. Any other questions? Any other questions, Uday? All okay? Let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Right. So next up, we have the tools that are used by the Chena farmers. We have to learn the singular word source once again for this, right? Okay. Look, in this lesson, we have a lot of singular words. Okay. Not all lessons have a lot of singular words. Okay. You have to remember that as well. It's fine. You're going to be fine with other lessons. If you are really struggling with singular words, this lesson has a few of them, but other lessons, they don't have much. Okay. Only a couple. So don't worry, keep practicing, keep revising, keep practicing. Uh, understand from the meanings, so you'll be fine. Enough repeated, you can remember. So repeat those words enough. Okay. Ask somebody to ask you a few questions. You have Ayalakala. Ask them to ask you a few questions from those singular words, and then you will automatically remember those words. Okay. Don't worry. Okay. Right. So next up, we will move on to some tools that are used by the Chena farmers for their cultivation. Okay. So we have Axes used by the Chena farmers. Axes, the photos are there in your book. So I didn't put the photos in the tute. So axe is used in mainly cutting big trees, cutting like decently big trees, like medium sized trees and all. Yeah. Axe. So in Sinhala, what do we call this axe, Pute? Yeah, you know what the axe looks like, right? Something like this. Yeah, this is the handle. This is the blade. Yeah, so you can use this to cut mainly trees. So what is the singular word for axe? We call it porava in singular. Okay, porava. So porava or porova. You want me to write in singular? Who's learning singular at school?
Me,
Can I see
sir.
hands?
Me, sir.
Many are learning? Okay, all right. So this is, I just wrote it, okay? You don't have to write anything in, you don't have to write singular letters in your paper, okay? This is for your pronunciation, right? So, porava. Normally we call it porava. You can write it porava, okay? Yeah. So it's okay, it's fine. This is for your understanding only. So axes are used in chain cultivation. And another type of tool that is used is the pruning knife. Make it a katta again. Pruning knife. Pruning knife is called katta in Sinhala. Okay. So kati poro again, knives and pruning knives and axes. Okay. Kati poro. Kati poro again. Yeah. Right. So katta again, when you make it, you know, this pruning knife will take the shape of something like this. Yeah. Something like this. So this is the handle, and the knife will be a little big, but smaller than a porova, smaller than an axe, but like a little shaped like this. Have you seen? Do you have one at home? Maybe by any chance? I had one when I was in Homagam. I remember we had one. Kattak tibuna. Yes. So what you can do with that katta is you can clear the jungle with that easily. Okay, these small bushes and all, it's easy to cut the bushes with the katta. So you take it and then, yeah, you can, yeah, do like this. Okay, so porova you normally use for cutting and for chopping some wood and stuff like that. Okay, but katta you can use for clearing the bushes and jungles. So this is called pruning knife. O in Sinhala, katta. I'm not writing in Sinhala, but I will write it in English.
Katta.
Katta. Just remember katta. Okay. Then udalla, you know udalla, right? Mammoti.
Yes, sir.
Mammoti is called udalla in Sinhala. Udalla is used for tilling the ground. Okay, turning the soil upside down. Before cultivation, you used to till the ground, right? You have to till the ground. You have to turn the soil upside down and make it suitable to plant your crops. Why do you turn the soil upside down? Anybody? Can't you cultivate? Can't you plant your crops without turning the soil upside down? What do you think? Think now. Think with your 12 years old brain now, right? Think practically. Okay, now you are using a Mammati and just imagine. Okay, now you are trying to plant something on the ground. Maybe you are in Colombo, maybe you are in a city area, you never got a chance to hold a udalla. But
The
just
soil is
imagine.
loose, then it gets
Exactly, yes. When you are tilling the soil, when you are turning the soil upside down, it's loose, right? So it's easy. You can easily plant. Okay, and the roots will easily grow. Okay, the roots will easily like the roots of the growing plant can basically like make the soil tight, and then they can grip the soil. Okay, so that is why you are turning the soil upside down to make the soil loose. Without, if the soil is not loose, you can't plant there, right? How are you going to plant it? Like with your fingers? The soil is very tight, right? You can't poke holes with the fingers on the soil, right? So that is why you have to till the ground. So Mammati is the main tool used by Chena farmers to till the ground, okay, to prepare the ground for farming, for planting their crops. Everybody got it, no? Yes. So axes and pruning knife you normally use for clearing the forest. Mammati used for tilling the ground. Okay. So those are three simple tools used by Chena farmers in their Chena lands. Any questions? Everybody okay?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
Then we have a few singular words that you need to remember when it comes to Chena farming. Okay. So we will learn that and we will go to paddy cultivation after this. Okay. Yeah, after this we go for a short break. Today's class we 10-15 minutes extra. So don't worry. We will finish Chena cultivation today and start paddy cultivation today. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So a few singular words that you have to remember. I mentioned the same things in the tute as well. So Navadali Hene is one word you have to remember. That's a singular word. Navadalihena. What is the meaning of this singular word in English, Pute?
Newly prepared.
Newly prepared Chena land or virgin Chena land.
Fire to it.
Yeah, virgin Chena land. Okay, virgin Chena land that is prepared after setting fire to it. Yes, okay. That is there in the tute, so you can copy that in your book. I'm not going to write everything here to save time. Okay. Then another singular word that you have to remember is Giniyatikav. What is this? You remember Giniyatikav?
Ritual to chase away the animals.
The
Exactly.
shouting
The
to
shouting.
chase the animals away before
Very
setting
good.
fire to chenas.
Very good. So before setting the
Excuse
fire
me,
to the
sir.
Chenas, the
What do
Chena
you have
farmers,
time?
you can copy this in your book, in your notebook, so you don't forget. You know, sometimes when you write these words, you remember better, more than reading. So I am just telling you, copy these words. The English words are there in the tute. You can copy from the tute, okay? I'm just telling you. You can also write while I'm telling, or if you want the spellings, if you are having trouble in the spellings, you can copy from the tute. Okay, no problem. So Giniyatikawa is the ritual, the shouting ritual performed by Chena farmers to chase away the animals from the Chena land before setting fire to it. Okay, that is called Giniyatikawa. Then we have another word, Helikata. Helikata means the scarecrow. Okay, Helikata. Helicata can scarecrow used in Chena lands to scare away the birds and animals. Okay. So helicata will look something like this. Basically a pot is used as its head. So you draw something. Yeah. Just like this. Yes. Okay. And then you, yeah. So scary, right? Like Halloween. Okay. So, check this out.
Sir,
So
nice draw.
what you do is you basically, this is a pot. This is a clay pot. Okay. This part is a clay pot. So heliac clay pot. It's a heliac. Mottiya it's like a small mouth. Halia is the big mouth. The big mouth clay pot is called Halia in Sinhala. Small mouth clay pot is called Muttiya. Yeah, this one is Halia or Muttiya?
Heli.
This is a Halia or Muttiya?
Heli.
Muttiya. Okay. This is a Halia. Okay, something like this is a Halia, big mouth. Heliac. Okay. So Muttiya dan ban make it. Muttiya, it doesn't look like a scarecrow. So that is why they used a heli on the other side. You turn it other side and you fix it on a pole or something like that. Then dress it up like a real man or something like that. So the birds will be scared, right? The birds will see this and then they would run away. Now we don't see this much. Okay. In Sinhala we call them Pambeo. Today we call Pambeo. So helicata is the ancient word used by the Chena farmers to call this Pambea or scarecrow. Okay. Yeah, helicata is the word to remember. Then Dandueta, I already told you. What is Dandueta, Pute?
Stockade.
Stockade
Stick
or
fence.
the stick fence built around the Chena land to protect it from wild animals. And Pala?
The watch out.
Watch hut.
Watch hut built on the top of the trees. And Palkavi?
The
fire
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 sung by
Chena farmers.
farmers.
Chena farmers in the watch huts.
Bonfire.
Okay, yeah. Then bonfire, you can learn that as well. Bonfire is called Ginimale. It's also there in the book. Sorry, in the tute. I also put all these words so you can study. Okay, yeah. Bonfire is Ginimale in Sinhala. Everybody okay now, Pute? That's it about Chena cultivation. I believe everybody can answer some questions from Chena cultivation now. Nobody's scared about Chena cultivation. Now we will go to the next one. We'll take a 5 minutes break and be back. Get some water, get some fresh air, and be back with a fresh mind to discuss about paddy field cultivation. Chena cultivation is over now. Thank you for Chena cultivation. We will see you again in the exam maybe. Yeah. But keep studying, okay? Keep studying, keep revising, right? Then if you have any questions, you can ask in the group as well. And we will come back in 5 minutes, get some water, get some fresh air, talk to somebody, couple of words, relax, be back for paddy field cultivation, which is also called wetland cultivation. This is a big topic as well, same like chain lands. We have to learn so many things in this. We will do after a short break. Okay. Everybody back? Ready? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Any questions you want to ask? Maybe. Nobody have questions? 15 students in the class. Yes, Pute?
Do we have to write that Navadeli thing?
Let's do. Yeah. Let's do so you remember better, right? Yes.
Okay. What is
Nice.
the subtopic for that?
These are singular words. Check the tute, Pute. It's there. The subtopic is there. Some singular words used in chain cultivation. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it's there. Pute. All right. Thanks. Okay, now we are moving to another subtopic. Okay, that is paddy field cultivation. Now there are different names for paddy field cultivation. Okay, paddy field cultivation. Why paddy field cultivation? Because we grow paddy there, right? Paddy means we in Sinhala. Paddy means we. So you use paddy to make rice. Okay, paddy is the raw material. Rice is the product. It's like you are using clothes to make dresses, to make garments. You are using clothes, yeah, to make garments. So cloth is the raw product, garments is the finished product. Same like that, paddy is the raw product and you make rice out of paddy. Rice is the finished product, ready to eat. Rice is ready to eat. Paddy you can't eat. Okay, you have to process the paddy. How do we do this? How do we grow paddy? Where do we grow paddy? What are the steps to grow paddy? How do we make rice? We will learn now. Okay. So this is called paddy field cultivation. Another word for this cultivation is wetland cultivation. Wetland. So you can call it wetland cultivation. Then you can put within brackets paddy field cultivation. Okay. Because wetland cultivation means you are using wet soil to cultivate this. Now you can't grow paddy in the dry lands like chain lands. You need muddy lands with a lot of water, wet, muddy lands to grow paddy. Anybody got a chance to see paddy cultivation? Anybody? Can I
Yes,
see
sir.
hands? Okay. So I know a little about paddy cultivation because, when I was in grade 3, we lived in a house that is in front of a huge paddy field. Okay. So I got the chance to experience all the steps of cultivating paddy. Okay. So today I can teach you those. So it's good, right? That I experienced myself. I remember one of my father's friend, he had a big paddy field and he gave a small part of his paddy field for us to cultivate once when I was a kid. So I didn't know how to cultivate paddy. My father also didn't know. But he said, my father's friend, he said, okay, you can cultivate in this area this season. Okay, right. Then what we did, we hired an uncle. There was an uncle known to my father. So he knew this. So we gave the contract to him. Okay, you cultivate for us. So we can share and we can pay you something. And then he's the one who cultivated it. It's a small area. Okay, small area. So one man was enough for that. And we got 2 sacks of rice. I still remember. I was in grade 3 or 4 back then. So we got 2 sacks of rice, and one we gave it to our known ones. The other one we used in our house. It was red rice, brown rice. Okay, so I'm here to share with you my experience so you can understand this better. Okay. So paddy field cultivation is called wetland cultivation, and that is basically rice cultivation. Okay, you're cultivating paddy. Paddy becomes rice after processing. Okay, after processing it, right? Okay, how do you process? I will teach you. We will go step by step. Now, Pute, there are small paddy field. Now, I'm teaching you something extra from the book as well, because you will need this knowledge for your future, for your grade 10, 11 also. So I'm teaching you a little extra more than the book. Okay, yeah. So, Pute, there are small paddy fields and large paddy fields. Okay. Small paddy fields are there, large paddy fields are there. Some large paddy fields, you can't see the corner also of that. So huge, right? This is so big. that you can't see the other corner of that paddy field. They are called large paddy fields. Okay. Small paddy fields are not very big, so you can see from the size of it. Like it's not very big, you can see the other edge and like that. Okay. Right. Just example, right? Don't write these things. Okay. Just example. Try to understand. So for small paddy fields, we call them kumburu. Kumbura in Sinhala. Kumburak. Kumburu kotana කියන්නේ small, normal small paddy field. Kumburu kotana again, you can use it for large paddy field also. Paddy field cultivation is called kumburu govitana. Okay. We govitana. We govitana. Agriculture or cultivation related to paddy. So kumbura again, normally we use the word kumbura to call a small paddy field. And we use the word keta to call a huge paddy field. Okay, keta. Yeah?
Sir?
Keta. 1 second for that. So keta is used to call big paddy field or huge paddy fields. Kumbura is normally used to call smaller paddy field. 1 minute, Pute, I'll come to your question. So now these paddy fields, Pute, especially the big paddy fields, where, you know, most of the rice that we eat in Sri Lanka. Who is eating kiri samba? Who is eating samba? Anybody? You know samba? Who doesn't like red rice? Ratu Bathalta kamathi nathi ayi innada? Yeah. Okay. Now you know most of these rice, especially samba, kiri samba, these rice is coming from these areas like Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batiklo, this area. Most of the rice that we eat. Okay. Red rice mostly coming from the south, these districts like Matara, Hambantota districts mostly. But most of the white rice, most of the other types of rice that we eat, samba, kiri samba, this nadu, this kind of rice is coming from Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batiklo, this area. Okay. So these areas are dry. Okay. Not like Colombo, Kurunagala, Kandy, Nuwara, Galle. These areas are wet, meaning that there's a lot of rain in this area. But in areas like Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batiklo, there's no much rain. Only a few times in a year it would rain in those areas. That is why we call those areas the dry zone. Okay, dry zone in the country. Why? Because there's no much rain. Okay. But these areas like Colombo, Kalutara, Kandy, Nuwara, Ratnapura, Galle, Matara, these areas we call it the wet zone. Okay, wet zone. These cities that I just mentioned or the districts that I just mentioned belong to the wet zone. Meaning that throughout the year we have a decent amount of rain. Yeah, I mean if you go to Hatton, Nuwara, it rains like every week. Yeah, rain is very common. Okay, so you understand I'm saying. So that is why this area of the country is called the wet zone. But that area in the country, like I said, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batiklo, Ampara, these areas are called the dry zone. Okay. So most of the big paddy fields in the country, in Sri Lanka, can be seen in which zone, Pute? What do you think? Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batiklo, or Colombo, Kandy, Nuwara, most of the paddy fields are where, Pute? Yeah, in the dry zone or wet zone? Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batiklo, Ampara, this area.
Zone. Wet zone.
In the dry zone. Okay, bigger paddy fields are in the dry zone. Okay, if you go to Anuradhapura, you can see Keth, huge paddy fields. Okay, anybody who have gone to Anuradhapura might have seen these paddy fields. Polonnaruwa district, you can see huge paddy fields. These huge paddy fields you cannot see in the wet zone. Okay. Now tell me why? Why we have huge paddy fields in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, which doesn't have much rain? Yeah.
Because grains need less water.
Paddy fields need water. I told you, paddy field is wetland cultivation. You need mud to cultivate. Paddy grows in mud. Okay, the rice that we eat, the paddy plant grows in muddy soil. You know why, Budhe? Because the dry zone has the best soil. Okay, the best soil, the fertile soil, it's very rich. Okay, that is the speciality. That is something special about the dry zone. But the problem is it doesn't have rain. Not much rain. Okay, only a few times in a year it would rain. Understand the logic here. Understand the concept here. Okay. Now, what did I just say? There are like various areas in the country. Some areas they get rain throughout the year. Oh, almost every month of the year you have rain in some areas. Like Colombo, Kandy, Nuwara, these areas. Ratnapura. There's rain, okay? Rain is common. But if you take Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batticaloa, these areas, the rain is not common. The rain is very seasonal in those areas. Only a few times in a year it would rain. But when we are talking about paddy cultivation, where we produce rice, you can see the biggest paddy fields in the country in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batticaloa, these districts. Some in the south as well. I'm not saying no, but mainly in those areas I just told. South also some areas are dry. Okay. But why? Because the soil, the Colombo, you know, in Colombo example, I'm telling you an example. Okay. Now let's say you have a paddy field in Colombo district. Okay. Colombo district or let's say Kalutara district. You have a paddy field in Kalutara district. Okay. And this is the size of the paddy field. And the same size paddy field you have in the Anuradhapura district, let's say. Okay. Example I'm telling. So let's say this paddy field will give you 100 kilograms of rice in Colombo or in Kalutara district, 100 kilograms kg. The paddy field in Anuradhapura give you 200 kilograms. Same size paddy field. Why? Same size paddy field can give more paddy in Anuradhapura than Kalutara. Why? Because the soil in Anuradhapura is rich. The paddy will grow very fast and the paddy trees will be taller than you. Okay, they will grow taller than you very quick because the soil is rich. Soil is fertile, as we call it, very fertile soil in the dry zone. But in the wet zone, there is rain, but the soil is not good. That is why we don't have a lot of paddy fields in the wet zone. Okay. And it's easy to prepare the paddy fields in the dry zone because the big, large flat lands are there. So many other reasons are there. But the main reason is the soil in the dry zone is fertile. That is why you see all these main paddy fields in the country. The biggest paddy fields in the country in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batticaloa, these districts. Okay. Because of the fertility of the soil. Because the soil is very fertile. Okay. I have written all this extra knowledge in your book, in your tute as well. Okay, you can go through the tute, right? But now what is the problem with it? I told you paddy field cultivation is wetland cultivation. You need water to cultivate paddy. But in the dry zone in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, you don't have water because you have to wait until the rain comes. Can you wait? Can you wait until the rain comes? No. What if the rain doesn't come? Yeah. You have to be ready. So what people did two things. People made tanks. People made huge tanks. So you can catch the water from the rain and use it for your paddy fields. Okay. Or people used dams. There's a river here. River is flowing this way. Your paddy field is here. So you make a dam. You make a bund across the river. You make a wall across the river. You can divert or you can direct some water to your paddy field just like that through a canal. Okay, there are two ways, right? You can catch the water from the rain and you can use it for your paddy fields for several months. So when it rains, you catch the water from the rain using a huge tank. These tanks are built, these tanks are huge tanks. Wow kilagyan Singhali. Yeah. You might have seen them as well. Some of you might have seen these wow like lakes, huge lakes. Yeah. Wow tanks. They are called tanks. So, or you can direct water from rivers. You can direct water from rivers. You can change the direction of the water of rivers by making a wall across the river. And then you can give your paddy field, or you can supply your paddy field with water. Because paddy fields need water. You need muddy soil to grow paddy. Muddy and paddy. How nice, right? Yeah. Okay. So then, now this is called irrigation. Supplying water for agriculture artificially. Like you are making, you are making and distributing water for your agriculture. This is called irrigation in English. Okay, irrigation. Irrigation is the supplying of water for agriculture. So you can use two methods here, as we mentioned, supplying water for your paddy field, because in the dry zone, Anuradhapura, Polonnaru, not much rain. So you can direct the water from the rivers, or you can catch the water from you can catch the water from the rain using huge tanks. Like you can make lakes that can catch water. They are called tanks, not lakes. Okay, they're called tanks. Singaling, wow. Wow means one tank. Wow means tanks, plural. Okay, everybody got the concept? Have a general idea now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Somebody had a question. Yes, Pude. One Putaudu had a question, I think. Is it answered already? Did it get answered? Sometimes when I'm explaining, certain questions are getting answered already. Okay, I think no doubts, right? Anybody have any doubt? Please ask. Right. So now you know the most fertile soil in the country is in the dry zone. That is why you see a lot of paddy fields in the dry zone. But the problem in the dry zone is there's no enough rain in the dry zone. So in order to compensate for that, or in order to cover that, people built irrigation systems like tanks, and they built dams. So sometimes we use the word anicuts to call these dams. Anicuts to change the direction of the water from the rivers and direct them to paddy fields. Now let me ask you one general knowledge question. Okay. Here's your paddy field and you are in Anuradhapura. Would you love to cultivate paddy in Anuradhapura or Colombo? Which area would you love to cultivate paddy if you are a farmer?
Anuradhapura.
Anuradhapura, obviously, because it can give you better results, right? You can grow more paddy. Okay, and the fields are big as well. Okay. Now there's your river, okay? Like, let's say Anuradhapura, there's a river called Malwatu, okay? Yeah, it's Malwatu, it's a river, okay? Right. Now this is the river, it's flowing this way. Now the distance between your paddy field and the river is 15 kilometers, or let's say 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers, okay? Yeah. Right. Now, how will you supply water to your paddy field? What is the best way? Blocking the river, or using a dam to block the river and direct some water to your paddy field through a canal, or building a tank near or next to your paddy field? What do you think?
Building a tank.
Yeah, that's easy, right? Okay. So practically thinking, you have to think practically now, okay? So, I mean, directing this water 50 kilometers away, building this canal for 50 kilometers, you need a lot of people to work on that and a lot of expenses, okay? Yeah. Then instead, if you can make a tank in your village, you can save water from the rain in those tanks, or in that tank. You can supply your paddy field with the tank water. No problem, right? Yeah. Okay. That is a simple logic I wanted to tell you. Okay. So sometimes tanks were built, sometimes rivers were water from the rivers were directed like this. Sometimes, one more thing. Rivers were connected to the tanks like this. And tanks were connected to the paddy fields. So tank water is directed to the paddy fields. This is a tank. What is the single word for a tank, Pute?
Vävä.
Vävä is one. Väv means many. Okay, so vävä. Right. This is the tank. This is your river. What is the single word for river?
Ganga.
Ganga, right? Yeah, very good. Yes. And this is Kumbura. Yeah, your paddy field, right? Kumbura. You can call it, if it is huge, you can call it Keta as well. Okay. So now you have another option. These are some irrigation systems I'm just explaining you. Okay. Now, how to basically store and distribute water. This is what I'm explaining you now. Okay. These are different methods that were used by people to store and distribute water for their paddy fields. Okay. You need water for paddy to grow, right? If you go out of water, the paddy plant will die. You won't have rice to eat. We won't have rice to eat if all the paddy fields in Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa became dry. No rice. No rice, no life. Yeah. Can you live 3 days without rice? Anybody? Yes. 4, 5 days. Okay. After the second day, you feel like bath kavine. Yeah. You feel like you didn't eat anything. Yeah. Sometimes, you need that rice to fill you up. Yes. Sometimes, that is Sri Lankan, this Sri Lankan food, right? We as Sri Lankans, our staple diet, our main meal is rice. Okay. Now there's another theory here, okay? That is, now let's say this river has extra water. During a heavy rain season, this river will flood. Have you seen rivers flooding? Gangotru Galano? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
What you can do is, you can become smart here. You can direct that extra water to this paddy field and fill, the tank. You can fill the tank up. Yeah, can fill the tank. So that is why some tanks are connected to the rivers. Okay. The extra water from the river during a rainy season, heavy rain season, flooding season, you can direct that water. You can direct that water to your tanks and fill it up. Your tanks are full now. You are ready to go for 3-4 months. You have enough water now for cultivation. Okay. Smart move, right? Smart move. Now these are big tanks. Like sometimes, big tanks are built and connected to the rivers. What happens then? This extra water is directed to the tanks and the river won't flood also now because the extra water is gone to the tanks already. So the river won't flood because there's no extra water in the river. Extra water is now in the tanks. So you can connect many tanks like this to a river as well. People did that in the past. This is something extra knowledge for your understanding. Okay. So I believe everybody got the idea now. Okay. Now, Pute, in the wet zone, if you are having a paddy field in Kalutara or Colombo district, you don't have tanks. Have you seen any tank in Colombo district?
No.
Colombo? No. Kalutara?
No.
Have you seen
No.
any wow? Very
No.
rare, okay? Maybe 1 or 2, but I don't remember seeing any. But when you go a little south, a couple are there, not many, but okay,
Yes.
only a few. So because you don't need, why do you need wow? Yeah, because there's rain, no? There's rainwater. So you can use rainwater to cultivate. Why do you want to work very hard day and night? 3,000, 4,000 people have to work hard to build a tank. Okay. So why do you want to build that if there's rain? It's because there's no rain in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, these areas. They build tanks to store water. Everybody understand, Pute? Yeah? Got it now? Okay. Now, those days, Pute, in the ancient times, most of the villages, they were agricultural villages. So all these villages had a tank. Okay. Each village had one tank, small tank, normally. Okay. Normally that was the practice. So every village normally had a tank. So what the villagers did, they cultivated their paddy fields using that tank. They caught rainwater in that tank, and that is a village tank. That is called a village tank. Okay. So හැම ගමටම වැවක් තිබුණා. That means every village had a tank normally. Yeah, normally. But there's something like this. The population started growing. People like, if there are 10,000 people in Anuradhapura, after like 10, 15 years, it's going to be 15,000, 20,000 like that. So when the population is growing, you need to build bigger tanks. So the kings understood this. Okay. So kings understood this. Okay, the population is now growing, many people. So you have to store more water. So more paddy fields can be cultivated because people are growing now. The number of people are growing now, and you need more food. So you need to cultivate more paddy fields. To cultivate more paddy fields, you need more water. You need to store more water. To store more water, you need to build bigger tanks. Okay, understand the connection here, right? So kings like King Vasabha, King Mahasen, two great kings who lived in Anuradhapura era, they started building huge tanks. King Vasabha is the first king to start building big tanks. Big tank. Otherwise, the tanks were small, one tank per village like this. But King Vasabha is the one who started building huge tanks. Okay, huge tanks. We will learn more about King Vasabha in grade 10 when you go to grade 10. Okay. But King Mahasen is another great king who built so many huge tanks. Okay. Like Minneri Vava, Hurulu Vava, Nachadu Vava. These are huge tanks in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, these areas. Many tanks like this, Kaudulla Vava, they are big tanks. They were built by Mahasen, King Mahasen. Okay. King Mahasen did a great service for agriculture. King Mahasen built Minneri Vava. Even today, tens of thousands of farmers are using that water for cultivating their crops. So kings like Mahasen are worshipped by those farmers today. Yeah, King Mahasen, who lived in Anuradhapura kingdom, he is called today as Minneri god. Why? Because he built so many tanks, especially the Minneri tank, Minneri Vava in Polonnaruwa, close to Polonnaruwa. So Minneri Vava is a huge tank. It served or it helped so many hundreds and thousands of farmers to make a living, to do the agriculture. So they worship King Mahasen today as their god, Minneri god. Okay, so that is the service done by some kings. And now we will talk about the paddy cultivation, how paddy is cultivated and how this is done. Okay, so next week we will continue from here. So today we will learn the seasons of paddy cultivation. Now paddy can't be cultivated every day as you wish. Okay, like let's say you want to cultivate paddy today. No, you can't do like that. There are seasons for paddy cultivation. Normally based on the rainy season, based on the rain, you have to plan your seasons. Or there are set seasons in the year for paddy cultivation. Okay, we will learn a lot about paddy cultivation next week. How to prepare a paddy field, how to cultivate a paddy field, and there are singular words also involved. How to reap the harvest and what happens to the harvest after that. And these things we will learn. What are the tools used? Those things we will learn next week. Okay, today we will stop after discussing what are the seasons of paddy cultivation. Okay, so paddy pute is cultivated in two main seasons. Now one season is about 4 months. No need to remember how many months and stuff like that. I'm just telling you like for your knowledge. Okay. So one season is called the Yala season. Yala season. In Sinhala, this season is called Kanne. Yala Kanne kila kiyane මේකට. Okay. Yala Kanne. Yala Kanne in Sinhala. Kannaya. Okay. Yala Kanne. This season is normally from May to August. You see May, June, July, August, like 4 months. Okay. So paddy needs about 3 to 4 months to grow fully. Now the rice that you are eating, Bude, it takes 3 to 4 months to grow. Okay? You are eating in how many minutes? You are throwing also. Right? You don't like it also. Yeah? You are eating in 3 minutes? Yes? It takes 3 months to grow, okay? Yeah, it's not, I mean, this is why we are learning these lessons at the first place. You need to understand the hard work that is put behind paddy cultivation, okay? You're just throwing rice. You don't like rice. You don't understand. You take like only 2 minutes to eat it, but it takes 3-4 months of very hard work, very hard work. Very difficult to cultivate paddy, okay? I mean, if you do it once, you will never do it again. Trust me. If I tell you to cultivate a paddy field once, you will never do it again because it's a lot of hard work. You will get so tired. Okay, it's a lot of hard work. It's better to go fight in a war than cultivating paddy. So you have to understand how much work, how much hard work the farmers are putting. Okay. මේකට කියනවා පොළොවත් එක්ක හැප්පෙනවා. Yeah, පොළොවත් එක්ක හැප්පෙනවා. So basically you are fighting a war with the ground. Okay, the ground is very hard. It's very difficult to fight this war. You better to fight with others but than the ground. පොළොවත් එක්ක හැප්පෙනවා කියන්නේ ඒකට. You have to fight it out in the sun all day. You will learn the hard work. Next week we are going to learn what are the steps of preparing a paddy field. Then you will understand. Then you will start respecting the farmers and they will immediately understand. And you will never waste a single grain of rice if you know the hard work that is put in this. Okay. Right. So the yellow season is one season that is cultivated. This is from May to August, May, June, July, August, like 4 months. And then the main season that paddy is cultivated is called Maha season. Maha season. This is from September to March. So this is a little long season, okay? Maha season. So starting from September to March, Maha season. Maha Kanne. Kanne means season in Sinhala. So Yala Kanne, Maha Kanne. They are the two main seasons that paddy is cultivated. Okay. Now you see, Bude, from I told you September to March. No need to remember. This is for your knowledge only. September to March is Maha Kanne. Then May to August is Yala Kanne. So let's say Maha Kanne is started in September, but by January, February, you reap the harvest. And then you have like a gap, right? Like 4 months gap. Then let's say the farmer saw that there's a possibility of rain or there's enough water in the tank for another season. So the farmer will decide, okay, I just cultivated one season, but it looks like I can cultivate another season before the next season. So these are the two main seasons. Yala season and Maha season are the two main seasons paddy is cultivated. Okay, I told you Yala is cultivated from May to August. Maha Kanne is cultivated from September to March. Okay, so let's say after Maha Kanne, normally, if the farmer thought like there's a possibility of getting rain, looks like it will rain more. Looks like the tank is still full. The farmer will cultivate an additional season, extra season. Okay, and that season is called the mid-season or intermediate season. Mid-season, intermediate season, both are same. Okay, because between those two seasons you cultivate that because there's water. There's a possibility of getting water. And this in Sinhala we call it Madakanne. Okay. Now what can you understand from this? The farmers did not waste water. And the farmers were not lazy like you. Okay. Yeah, we are all lazy today, right? The farmers were not lazy. The farmers were like, there's water. Why are we wasting our time? Why are we wasting water? We will cultivate one more season. And we are having extra rice now. The extra rice we can stock. We can use it for future use or we can sell it. Think. You see how the thinking process of the farmers. They were not lazy. That's the main thing. Okay. They were not lazy. Sri Lankan farmers in the ancient times, Sri Lankans were not lazy. Okay? Were not lazy. They were ready for work. Today, everybody very, very lazy. They want to stay at home. Yeah, like 7 days a week. And they want to go to the office. They want to relax in the office also. In the office, they want to, like sit like this on a chair, nice chair, and come home. Okay. So, I mean, we were working very hard in the ancient times. You need to understand this. We were not lazy. Why? You can't be lazy. Why? Because what if there's no rain next year? What if there's a drought next year? You never know, right? Can you predict the future? You don't know. Maybe it will never rain next year. If it is raining now, you grow now. You stock the extra grains. You can use it for the future. Yeah. So this is the thinking process. This is the experience. This is the thinking that the ancient farmers in our country had. So that is why, based on the availability of the water, another additional season was cultivated, which is called Madakanne in Sinhala, intermediate season in English. You can also call it mid-season. Everybody got it? Everybody understand today?
Yes, sir.
So there are few Sinhala words as well to call this Yala season, Maha season. You can study them and come to next week. Before that, let me ask you a question. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What is another name for paddy cultivation, Pute?
Wetland cultivation.
Wetland cultivation, very good. Yes, wetland cultivation. How paddy fields are mainly provided with water, supplied with water?
From
In the-
tanks.
From
In the dry
tank
zone, tanks and
river.
canals, tanks and dams or anicuts, okay, across the river. In the wet zone, rainwater. Okay, so mainly rainwater is used in paddy cultivation because rainwater is the one that is used after catching it in tanks, right? You catch the rainwater and then you use it. Okay, so that is the main thing in the paddy fields. What are the two main seasons paddy is cultivated? Anybody?
Yala
Yala.
season.
Not Yala, okay? Yala season, okay? Yala season and Maha season. Very good. And if there's a possibility of getting more rain or having more water,
Med
the farmers cultivated another additional season. What is that season called?
season.
Madakanne or
Intermediate
intermediate season. Very good. So read the tute. Come next week. We will continue the lesson next week. I think we can finish a huge part of this lesson next week. Yeah. So that's the plan. Until next time. Take care. Bye bye. God bless you. Have a good night. See you with the next week.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Uday.
Bye, sir.
Good night, sir.
Bye, sir.
Good night. Bye. Take care. God bless. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Uday. Bye.
Bye, sir.
See you. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Good night.
Good night. See you.